Hero wins. You fucking beauty.
Mortal Kombat. MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. Video game created and characters by John Tobias and Ed Boon, and adapted to screenplay by Oren Uziel, Dave Culham and Greg Russo, and directed by Simon McQuoid, starring Lewis Tan as Cole Young and Jessica McNane as Sonya Blade. And if you are new to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. We are well and truly on our journey, on our quest to reach 1,000 subscribers. So please make sure that you do that and join me. We talk all things movies here, I tell you that. And I would also like to share with you that we, the ongoing production that I've been a part of and acted in a short film that has wrapped. It wrapped last Friday, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that donated, sent a donation, helped the project. You know, you guys have really, I can't tell you how much, you know, with the donations, it helped the production, our equipment, you know, our hospitality, and I couldn't thank you guys enough for those of you that helped the project. There's still time for you guys to make a donation, no matter how small, how little, it helps us. And recently we moved the goal up to £1,000. I think last time I checked we were at 680. So wherever you can give, whatever you can spare. If you can't donate something, share it to someone else. And I can't wait for you guys to see what we've been cooking up and what we're working on, and share it with all of you guys very soon. So without that, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about Mortal Kombat. Now, with Mortal Kombat, I've always been a big fan of the franchise, especially for, I'd say, the gameplay aspects of it. And I started from PS3 up until PS4, and hopefully soon to be PS5. And I remember there was this one period in time where I was actually playing the game. I think it must have been MK10, not the 11th one. Could be either one of them. I was playing them on my Android. And during this time, I was an understudy at Ching Shed Theatre for the Christmas play. And I mean, I look back on it, it was proper. I mean, it was proper stupid. I mean, in between rehearsals, I would, when I was not needed, I would go back and play on the game, and so on and so forth. And you know, it was just, even when I was there meant to be working, I was on my Android playing. And for those of you that are actors, don't do that. Be present, be in the room, because even if you do have free time, there's always something to work over with your cast. And that was something that I wasn't doing. But yeah, I mean, I was so addicted to, at one point, I was like, on multiplayer on Android, I was like top 500 or something. It was ridiculous. So yeah. And I remember back then my partner was not happy that I was playing it so often, and I'm pretty sure that she wanted to drive an ice pick through my face, because I was spending more attention on the game than on her. Not that there was anything wrong with her, it's just, you know how it gets when you play a game and you're addicted to it and you want to get to God knows what level, or so on and so forth. But with that out of the way, let's talk about Mortal Kombat, because going into this, I heard a few initial reviews about this, a very mixed response. I watched Tyrone Magnus's take on the film with his review, and he said that the best parts of this film is the opening and the end, and he couldn't have hit the nail on the head any better with the thoughts that he shared about the movie. And I have to say, a huge shout out to Hiroyuki Sanada, who played Scorpion, Joe Taslim, who played Sub-Zero, and Josh Lawson, who played Kano. Without these actors giving the best portrayal that they can give to the screen, this film well and truly could have just, the whole thing could have just fell like a crashing phoenix coming from outer space and just complete annihilation, because there were so many things that I found baffling, especially with the script of this film. Now, one of the reasons why it's a little bit disheartening is because there's always been this element of maybe, with the games themselves, they've never taken themselves seriously, especially with the fight scenes and the gameplay, And I was just thinking, with this film, it would have been nice. We did initially get that, especially with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, to have this grounded take on these characters. But after the first 7 minutes, and then by the time we got to the ending, we had elements of that. But everything else in between, I'm thinking to myself, like, come on, man. Like, listen, I understand that we all want to have fun, and here's the thing, right? It lives up to the action, no doubt about it, but the pacing is too fast. I couldn't believe my eyes, what I was witnessing. We would literally have 2 lines of dialogue with elements of the characters being 3-dimensional. And then before you know it, we're in a new location. And I'm thinking to myself, I know this is more Kombat, like, god damn, like, let the movie breathe, cuz. Like, I'm thinking, this is moving, this pace. I mean, that's one thing you can't dispute or you can't be upset. I mean, the pace went beyond anything I was going to think with it. And I still don't really know how to feel about it. But let's just backtrack a little bit. Now, like I said, opening first, it couldn't have been shot any better. It couldn't have been, especially the first 7 and the end fight scene. I love that. Those aspects of the film were brilliant, right? The direction, the cinematography. And here's the thing. The reason why you have to pay your respects to Joe Taslim and Hiroyuki Sanada is that you can definitely tell that when they're fighting, it's them. There's maybe like a few like cuts where you can tell maybe like a stunt double's got in there to do the move. But in general, you can, like their fight scenes, you can tell that at least 80% of the time it's them fighting, right? And you can feel it, right? You know it's them fighting, right? But, if it's ever a movie that you're meant to be physical and as an actor, you're meant to give the best portrayal that you can, it has to be in a Mortal Kombat film. And I'm watching this film and I'm watching these fight scenes, I'm like, how many different cuts do we need? How many do we need? Like, why? I don't get why filmmakers don't just put a camera, right, just there and just let the actors act, let them perform, let them throw the punch, let them move, let them, all of those elements, especially with fast cutting and shaky cam, for me, that completely rips me out of the film, and I don't want that. I want to see the actors putting their best foot forward and doing everything to the best of their ability. Now, where else do we really go with Mortal Kombat? Like I said, Josh Lawson. I mean, he done a brilliant portrayal of Kano, brash, straight to the point, no shit, yeah, and with this dark satirical sense of humor, right? And he couldn't have done that any better, right? So with the characters of Kano, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion, their performances, I'd give them, they were really good, right? On their behalf, right? And you have to, with those three characters, they will keep this franchise alive with those three characters. Now, here's the thing, right? This is what annoys me. I'm gonna talk about just the casting choices now, and then I'm gonna adhere to a scene, and just I'm gonna talk about casting, and then I'm gonna talk about writing that went wrong with this film. So I'm gonna say this. I don't know what it was, but I'm not even gonna say that the Jessica McName as Sonya Blade. I'm sorry, for me, if there's anyone out there that thinks that she's brilliant as a live action Sonya, then so be it. I don't, like, that's you, yeah? And that's your enjoyment. I can't take that away from you. But for me, I don't see her Sonya Blade. I really don't. And I don't mean to say this as you know, a little bit insensitive or rude, but it's like as if they gotten it. Again, it's not her, right? It just felt like they got a model, right, to play and be the embodiment of Sonya Blade. As far as I'm concerned, Sonya Blade is fucking hard as nails, right? And I had watched Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge with Jennifer Carpenter's portrayal as Sonya Blade in that film, right? And she was only voice acting, right? And I could feel more of her character there than I did with this live action film. I'm thinking, there was like this is what I mean, right? There was this awkward, like, sexual tension between herself and Kano. And I'm like, I don't get this. I'm thinking in my head, like, in the beginning, when they're first initially introduced, I got more vibes that they were a couple than the actual thing of Sonya Blade had captured him because he was a mercenary. That Kano had messed up a scenario where somebody had the Mortal Kombat birthmark, right? You know, that's information. You'd be pissed. She didn't come across pissed. She just looked very chill about it. And I'm like, it don't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm not, no disrespect to Jessica McName, but I'm sure she's brilliant, right? I'm sure that she's brilliant, right? But this is the thing, like, this is a problem with casting. You don't want your product to look like a cosplay. You don't want it to look like a parody, and that's what it looked like to me, right? I would have been more, I'm pretty sure, right, if you gave Ronda Rousey, who funny enough in MK11, she'd done the voice acting for Sonya Blade. If you gave her the opportunity to do a live action Sonya Blade, I reckon she could ace it. And you could give her just 6 months. She already naturally, I don't know, like, there's some people that just naturally just fall into that role a lot better, right? And I just would have picked her. I just would have picked her if that was me. She's more mean. She's more like no shit. She looks more like intense, you know? I just would have gone with Ronda Rousey. If that was me, I would have just done it, right? Now, Raiden. This is the one that really got me with Raiden, right? The fact that they made him, I just got to be honest, right? I have to. The fact that the fact that he was 5'6", right? I was thinking, nah, that ain't Raiden, man. That ain't Raiden. You and I know that's not Raiden when you played the games, right? He was a lot taller as well, right? So I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, I just don't feel it. And another thing, again, adhering maybe to minor spoilers here, is the fact that there's dialogue. Let's just say a character dies, and then therefore after a character asks him, why are you not allowed to intervene? And he gives dialogue of, oh well, you know, the elder scrolls are forbidden to intervene into combat and so on and so forth, right? But then the same bedroom, after 5 seconds, he's transporting everyone to different locations. I don't know, around the realms or in different locations on the planet. And he just said he's not allowed to get involved. Yet my man is teleporting Mandem. I'm like, what? Huh? Lord have mercy. What is this writing? Come on, man. I really, like, come on. Come on, like, you can't, listen, we can have fun, we can have entertainment, but when you treat me like a chocolate biscuit, like as if there is an inanimate object watching your film, how can I help not to get angry? And here's the thing, I'm not looking at this film in a vein of, like, that I'm just a fan and I know all the stories of that, because I really don't. I'm looking at it from a story standpoint. I'm looking at it from a filmmaking standpoint, and the writing of these characters, they really genuinely don't make any sense, right? Another point to throw in there, again, this is another kind of mild spoiler, right? So Sonya and Jax have been are on Earth. They're there to extract Cole Young, yes. As we know, it goes tits up, and as we've seen with the interaction between Sub-Zero and Jax, we know how that ends. So Sonya Blade comes along, gets Joe, right? She gives the whole exposition about the Mortal Kombat and so on and so forth, right? And not at one point does this woman acknowledge that her friend has gone missing. Not at one point. This is like, come on, you're like, yo, come on, guys, man. Don't tell me I don't have a point here, right? And then she's more interested in the guy that she's just met than the dude that she's done 20 years of service with, right? And this was the moment I knew that this writing was absolutely fucking shit, right? Was when off screen, Jax made it to the Raiden Temple, just off screen, like out of the fucking blue, right? And he's there, and Sonya's talking with him. He's like, and Sonya's like, oh, because he's kind of like depressed because he ain't got any arms, right? And he thinks he's worthless. And Sonya talks to him and says, look, I know that you're having a rough time with this, but for 20 years, we could get through anything, right? This is coming from the same woman that was spending more time getting to know Cole Young than giving a flying fuck about Jax. This is how you know that whatever happened, because I'm hearing a lot of rumors about WB with the producers. We know how WB get with their fucking bullshit, right? So that I'm looking at this film and I'm like, I want to like you, I want to give you my respect, but man, you're annoying me, But okay, moving all of that out of the way, I could honestly rant about this film for a very long time, and I don't want to keep you long, right? How long have we gone? 21 minutes, Jesus Christ. Alright, anyone that's still here, thank you for watching me, right? But anyway. Now, the whole thing about the birthmark. It's not a birthmark, it's a fucking dragon tattoo. It's not a birthmark, for Christ's sake, man. It's just a film. It's just a film. Mamma mia. So, it's just a birthmark, and then we had exposition dumps from all of the main characters, all of Liu Kang, so on and so forth. I had exposition dumps from Liu Kang and all of them in third person about their backstories. And another thing that griped on me was the fact that the characters, when they would be in combat fighting, they would say the catchphrases, like they'll say fatality, they would say flawless victory. And I'm like, nah. And this was something, for me, that didn't work either. One thing I disputed with my friend was, see, it would have made sense if they were doing the tournament and Shao Kahn is there and he's kind of like the commentary, right? And like, you just have the fight going at whatever pace it's going at, right? And then when somebody gets their ass kicked, then Shao Kahn, he's in the arena, right? Then he goes, flawless victory, right? Maybe the whole crowd goes silent and he says, flawless victory. And then the whole crowd cheers. Like, do you know what I mean? Something like that. Like what they were doing in the film, oh man, it was like, come on, this is cringe overload now. Right, where else? What else is there to nitpick with more Kombat? Jesus. But look, I'm gonna say this, right? If this is gonna be a franchise, what I will say to the current filmmakers that worked on this film, and if they are given the opportunity to come back and do the sequel, I'm just saying now, forget about all the other characters. Forget about them. Just get rid of them. I'm sorry. I know people might think I'm ludicrous for saying this, but get rid of them. It doesn't work, right? And just make the sequel about the Lin Kuei, yes, the Lin Kuei versus the Shiryu. That's all I need. I don't need all this other crap. I don't need it. I really don't need it. Yeah? Lin Kuei, Shiryu, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, ultimate revenge story. That's what we need. Yeah? And make the bloody thing 2.5 hours long. Right? Just to go for it. Get all your fundamentals of writing and just put it in the fucking film. Just do it. Trust me. Just fucking do it. Right? Not this 110-minute bullshit. No. Let's get in deep. Yes? With those characters. Right? Because look, with this first film, they were the best thing of it. Right? Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Kano. Yeah, make him a cameo. Make him come through at some point. Right? Yeah. But they were the best three-dimensional characters. And there was look, forget about all the other characters. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, there's so much more to uncover, right? Because even their dialogue is done in third person. Like Bihan, Sub-Zero, when he's in the interaction with Scorpion's family, he's talking Chinese, then he turns to Japanese. So it's obvious he's from another area, yeah, and he's on this mission to completely exterminate the Shiryu's bloodline, right? I want to know why. I want to go first person ideology. Let's just go there, and let's build from the ground up from Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Let's just do that. Yes. Let's just do that, because everything else, it's not working, right? And here's the thing, and just to backtrack, the cinematography of how they showed Scorpion's family passing away, right, at the hands of Bihan. Look, that was good. That was good. That was actually brilliant, because there's been all these other different depictions of how the family dies and so forth, right? But I gotta give props where it's due. The director, the writing, they done the first opening minutes, 7 minutes justice, right? Look, so like I'm saying, if you're gonna carry on this franchise with the same filmmakers, make it about Sub-Zero, make it about Scorpion, and go deep with the backstory. Just do it, man. Right? And I'll say this, yeah. It's not going to work if they're going to carry the franchise with the current characters they have, and then they do the tournament in the second film. It's not going to work, because there's too many characters to play it. There's too many of them, right? And there's too many of them to do justice by. It's too much to think about. Here's the thing, yeah. If you're talking about you want to carry on the tournament and go the tournament route with these characters, I would say with the current filmmakers, right? Because I don't think it would work as a film. take the characters, make it a TV series, and have like how many episodes you need to tell all of their backstories brilliantly with the time that you need, and do the tournament. Maybe something better could happen if these filmmakers are part of this team. That's the only way I see them doing justice, or making an infinite better film than this first one. That's the only way I see it. Now, if you're asking me what should happen, I think that Gareth Evans needs to take the second film. If it's going to be in a movie formula, yeah, go 2.5 hours, yeah, movie formula with Gareth Evans, and it will honestly blow your mind what that man could do with all those characters. Because I think he is a simply astounding filmmaker, right? And another thing with Mortal Kombat is that the whole thing was that it was based on its brutality and how bombastic it was meant to be. I wouldn't even say that this film is as violent as the Raid films. That, funny enough, that was by Gareth Evans. They weren't even violent than them. Guys, I'm just being honest with you, right? So, who knows? I might run a little bit more about this in another video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But my final score for Mortal Kombat is 5.5. I'm telling you, without Sub-Zero, without Josh Lawson, Hiroyuki Tsunada, Joe Taslim, it could have been an infinitely worse film. Infinitely. Because the writing, I mean, I've probably messed up some things, but the writing, it hurts my head, right? So, without them, this could have been at least possibly a 4 or 3 out of 10. It could have been, without them giving their best foot forward. So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this rant. I had to get all of this off my chest and just be as honest and candid with you guys as possible. I want to see good films. I want to see good films from the Mortal Kombat universe. Because I love that it's so unique in its take, you know, of being ultra violent and just being completely different to all the other franchises out there. That's why I look at it all as this kind of golden egg in a sense, you know. I just want to see it done justice, you know. Before this video, I saw multiple people saying that the producers again messed around with the film. There was meant to be more violent scenes or backstory. And with all of that, we'll see how that all unfolds. But yeah, guys, that's how I feel about the film. And make sure that you donate. Go to the description, check out the short film, Psychopath. And we all can't wait for you to see it. Again, donate what you can. If you can't, share it to someone else who's passionate about film. And guys, we got to the end. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.